Hello there. So it's not going to be a shortage of food or a lack of HGV drivers or Brexit that empties the shelves in the shops. It will be the COVID app Ping telling workers to stay at home. What? What? As per usual, please like, subscribe and comment below. Here we are, still in a form of lockdown and during the summer, and the NHS COVID app is going into hyperdrive and telling hundreds of thousands of people to stay at home and self-isolate. And this is based on a system where if two mobile phones are adjudged by technology to have been within 2 meters of each other for over 15 minutes, and one of the owners A has tested positive for COVID-19 and must self-isolate, then the owner of the other phone, B, must also self-isolate. And screens, masks, and even solid brick walls separating the phones do not provide protection from getting that dreaded auto ping. And in the last month or so, the number of contact tracing alerts sent out by the app system has rocketed up from about 100,000 a week to over 500,000. And when this is amplified by then seeing who has been within 2 meters of B's phone for more than 15 minutes, etc., 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 what's called the cumulative contact tracing alert, then the numbers have gone up in the same time period from 2 million a week to about 3.5 million. And those figures are just for England. And when applied to venue alerts, those have doubled in the first week this month, with over 1,000 alerts and over 3,000 cumulative alerts. And as I said, this is in the warm months. Now I know the technical concerns swirling around all of this testing and tracing that many people have, but those are deemed too controversial to be aired on social media, if you get my drift. But the immediate impact of these numbers is that hundreds of thousands of workers across the board are now self-isolating. Now that's maybe okay for those that can work successfully at home, but goods do not get delivered by home workers, shelves do not get stacked by home workers, crops don't get taken in by home workers, cows don't get milked by home workers. And that is the problem. Now to make this very clear, after what is now effectively a watered-down Freedom Day on Monday, social distancing rules in England will go, but the self-isolation rules stay in place. This is from The Week. The 1 metre plus social distancing rule is being scrapped, along with all legal limits on the number of people who can meet either inside or outdoors. But The Week also says, anyone who has tested positive for coronavirus or who has been contacted by NHS Test and Trace after coming into contact with a case will still be required to self-isolate. So if the contact alerts are pinging like crazy right now with social distancing and mask rules in place, what will happen next week? We've already got reports that this is causing problems for business owners, from the Mail. Factories are now on the verge of shutting, and small businesses have already been forced to close because so many workers are having to self-isolate across Britain in the pingdemic. Nearly 900,000 alerts telling people to quarantine were issued in the first week of this month alone, after contact with a coronavirus victim. And the Times reports that no change is expected to the app for several weeks, and may not come until an overhaul of isolation rules on August the 16th that will exempt the double vaccinated from having to quarantine. And as the testing rate is continually ramped up, more cases will be detected. And as people get back to being much closer to each other for much longer periods, then the cumulative alerts must also rise in concert. And the Telegraph is saying that up to 10 million people could soon be self-isolating. We also have a major hospital, Birmingham's Queen Elizabeth, cancelling loads of operations because of this, and COVID cases are reported to be surging again. A summer surge, it seems. You think we're in a pingdemonium right now? As far as I can see, we ain't seen nothing yet. And I smell another lockdown coming as a result of the pingdemic. One point to note is that the R rate in England is currently between 1.2 and 1.4, and from reading round a bit I gather that equates to a daily rise of 4 or 7%. Now the ONS has recently said that it estimates that 1 in 95 of us had COVID last week, covering the whole UK. That would equate to about 695,000 people. And if that went up between 4 and 7% a day, that would reach the UK population size of about 66 million in about 50 days. But this thing's been around for a year and a half at least, so give that a thought. And for those who were maybe planning an excursion to Bulgaria, sorry, the breaking news is that the UK has been added to their red list, along with the other countries of Cyprus, Spain, Fiji and Kuwait. But returning Bulgarian nationals will be able to go home. And just 2 days ago, the Transport Secretary Grant Shapps tweeted that Bulgaria would be on our green list from Monday. Where is all this going? Now, before I get to the next item, I just want to say a massive thank you to all my Patreon and PayPal supporters, as well as those of you that buy a mug with my mug on it. You really do help me keep this channel going. Now, yesterday I talked about President Macron of France getting all heavy duty on the French vaccine rollout. Well, I later read in The Guardian that this has vastly accelerated their uptake. And this will no doubt not be overlooked by our UK government. The Guardian report also said that where health passes are required in France, people unable to present a valid health pass risk up to 6 months in prison and a fine of up to €10,000 according to the draft text of the law, while owners of establishments welcoming the public who fail to check patrons' passes could go to jail for a year and be hit with a €45,000 fine. And another encouragement to accept the vaccine will be the withdrawal of free non-essential testing facilities in France. So anyone looking to go to France in the very near future and sample their fine wines and foods will need to ensure they have a double dose from a batch that the EU has deemed acceptable. Or if it's allowed, basically use an authorised test every day and hope it comes up negative. But the talk is that France is going on the UK travel red list very shortly anyway, so who knows? Moving on. You might be interested to hear, or even pleased to hear, that 6 Extinction Rebellion protesters have been found guilty of obstructing the highway while 50 of them blockaded a printing press last September. The judge, Sally Fudge, said the protest was peaceful but had a significant impact on the newspaper businesses concerned, having lost them about £1 million, as well as robbing readers of their preferred newspapers. Can't see from the reports what punishment was meted out to the 6, but I doubt it was anywhere near their share of £1 million worth. So what's your opinion on the pingdemic, France and all the travel chaos? Please like and comment below.